Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Welcome back to 5 Minutes of Momentum. Today I want to talk to you about your fulfillment in business. So I don't know about you, but when I first started my business, my goal was to get fully booked, right? And then I came to a point where I was fully booked and almost like overbooked. And I realized what my level of capacity was for one-on-one. I got to that level of capacity and then I was like, okay, time to peel it back because I didn't want to feel burnt out at the end of every single week. I also did not want to spend 20 hours on Zoom every single week. And so I really wanted to create a business that created more time freedom, more travel freedom, and to also create the impact that I wanted to make. So the booked out goal was the goal that I hit, and then I realized it actually wasn't what I truly wanted. I wanted to feel fulfilled in my business. So whether you're at that stage or whether you even still have that goal in mind of like, I just want to get booked out, I want you to start to think about shifting that goal to actually feeling more fulfilled. Because when it comes to your business, when it's not aligned with your values, you become very unfulfilled and you get to the point where you sometimes feel resentful or you feel burnt out or you feel like it's actually you built this business and you're not really sure why you built it. So sometimes when we start our businesses, we also create from a place of moving away from what we don't want. So it might be like you were in corporate and you wanted to get away from corporate, or you didn't want to have to go back to work. Like you had this focus of like what you didn't want, right? And so you created a business based on what you didn't want. And then when it comes to scaling, we want to start looking towards the future of what you do want to create, and aligning it with your values is really, really key. So then you create a business that you love instead of something that drains your life. So I recognized that I really wanted to be able to make that impact, and I needed to upgrade the way that I was doing it in order for me to scale in the way that I wanted to scale, right? For it to fulfill my needs, for it to fulfill my values being integrity, connection, freedom, impact. It needed to fulfill all of those. And I remember getting to the point of being booked out, and I was getting my needs met for connection. I was getting my needs met for integrity, but I was not getting my needs met for freedom. And I was getting my needs met to a certain extent for impact, but I knew I wanted to make a bigger impact. And so it's so key that when you start to grow and scale your business, you want to think about how it's going to align with your values and what's going to make you feel fulfilled, because you are at the end of the day, the visionary, you are the CEO, and you want to create a business that you love rather than something that you want to walk away from. And so I've been having so many different conversations around this lately, to the point of like building something to scale to sell, or otherwise building something that you just want to continue to do for the rest of your life. So I see myself doing this for the rest of my life. It's not something that I want to build to sell. I'm building from the intention of like it always being my personal brand, always being something that I really want to do to make that positive impact on the people that I work with. And so no matter what your goal is, that's great. Like knowing where you want to go is really key, but making sure it's in alignment with your values is going to be the thing that will determine your feeling of feeling fulfilled. So one thing that you want to do first is determine, what does success really look like to you now? It's something that you need to revisit again and again, right? And I know this happens in different growth phases of business, because sometimes we hit goals and we're like, this is great, but it's not what I thought it would be. And that's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. So coming back to what your definition of success is really, really key. So what does success mean and look like to you now? And what do you want your business to really do for you? Because if your business model is no longer something that creates spaciousness, and it's not something that creates something that really fulfills you, then we've really got to come back to what you're creating, because you have the ability to change it. And even though sometimes it can feel scary because maybe you've built something that actually works really well and you're like, well, if I go and change it, will then people still buy what I want to sell, or will people still come? Like there's always those fears and doubts, but you want to also consider that if you are continuously building something that you don't love, you are going to burn it to the ground. Like I honestly believe this. You will get to the point where you hate it so much, you'll burn it to the ground. And I had this happen to a past client of mine where she was ready to burn it to the ground. And I was like, you have already created something so incredible. Let's sell it. Like you can absolutely sell it. And she was like, can I? And I was like, yeah, we can improve parts of the business in order to get it ready for sale. And then you can absolutely sell it. And she did. And she sold it for multi-six figures. And so there's so many ways to go about this. And I think a lot of the time women aren't privy to those types of conversations of how we're building to sell. And so I'm not saying you have to, I'm just saying really consider where you want your business to be long term. And even if you can't think about what you want your business to be, think about what you want your lifestyle to be. How do you want to be living? Who do you want to be surrounded by? How do you want to be spending your time in, say, 5 years' time? That will help you determine and make more empowered decisions for your business. If you're not sure how to do this, reach out to me via DM and let's have a chat about it, because I want you to feel fulfilled in your business, not drained.